Hello, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and welcome to Retail Merchandising. This week we're going to be starting Chapter 3, Retail Location. Location. You're taking me either for an online class or a face-to-face class, and this will be a supplement to the lectures if we're in a traditional class, or to the forums if you're taking me in an online class. You're either in the fashion program, or you're an entrepreneur, or you're in a marketing, or in advertising, and you have to understand different retail operations. Some of you are open up your own businesses, or you are taking classes at the college to improve your understanding of retail merchandising. And so this chapter will be covering location. We'll be talking about unplanned shopping districts, places you can open up your business, or if you're already in that business and you're deciding, is this the right location for me, or should I move my business because as it's growing, where should I go? Are you going to go for planned shopping centers? We'll discuss a little bit about that, the trends and where that's going. Other shopping centers we'll discuss, and creating that tenant mix, whether and you may be just a manager of a retail or strip mall or of a shopping mall management company, and you want to make sure, how do I bring in new tenants into this? So this course here, this chapter is just going to be a general, about a half an hour to an hour. Again, you have my concept maps. Remember, always print out my concept maps. They're in a PDF file. If you're taking me online, if you're taking me to face-to-face, I'll hand them out during the classroom. You will always have up to the second level. That means wherever you have the plus, that means to bring more information. So as you're reading, you could add on to, this is what Dr. George, I missed this. Remember, the concept maps are taking a lot of information and bringing it down into one sheet so you'll be able to retain. It doesn't have full words and everything else. When I say full sentences, not full words, full sentences. So it's easier for you to remember the main concept. So when you're being quizzed, you'll do well. A lot of my concept maps, you might see some blue areas. Doesn't mean it's going to be on the exam, but there's a high probability you may see a question in some kind of format, so you should be aware of that. Okay, so let's get into this. We're going to always go to web. I'm going to try to start with the web. Now this week, since it is retail merchandising and I do a lot of lecturing, I have a couple of short clips, video clips. Let's try to see how this works out, if everything works out. So you're going to click on there. Remember, when you look at my maps, I always will provide you the web location. The author does a good job in web location. Some are mine, some are the authors from the reading, but with a combination. What I want you to understand, remember, you're going to have a good basic understanding. If this is going to be your expertise, and most of us start off in retail merchandising, how could I help the small business? Where should I open up? How should I do it? You'll be doing a feasibility study for me, open up a business with a new product line. If you're in a merchandising program, you'll be designing something. They have at the college we're teaching, you have your own retail store. So this could, and if you're doing, I know the students man that store, and so if you're going to be in there, how do I man it? How do I get customers in there? What do I do? This is what this class will help you. Okay? And this is a life experience. So let's look at the first one. Now this is a little bit controversial. This is about a funeral home in a strip mall. You would never expect a funeral home. It's only a 2-minute clip, and let's see if I could get this going. Okay. So we have that here.
There are types of stores you expect to see in a strip mall, but a funeral home is not one of them.
No, but at 80th and State Line, that's exactly what you will find. John Batten shows us how location isn't the only thing different about this business.
In 2003, Kathy Boomer was a hard-working and successful software salesperson, enjoying a trip she had won to Australia. But when her bus got detoured, she saw something that changed her life.
See if I make this a little bigger.
Cute storefront with flowers in the flower boxes.
Right, we're recording live. You see the technology?
It said simplistic funerals.
Keep an open mind.
She did some research.
You want to be different.
I looked it up and saw that they had traditional and cremation services packaged in a location that looked like you wanted to go into it. I thought, could it be a different way in Kansas City?
It took some time, but with help from the Kaufman Foundation, she came up with the plan for signature funerals. 6 months ago, she opened for business in this storefront. Modern decor reflects the modern approach.
And this business really isn't about me. It's about our families, and it's about what choices they want to make for their loved ones.
Those choices can be traditional or different. And Boomer says
Using
that
technology,
approach
you remember?
offer both
You could see everything else,
satisfaction and
iTablet
financial benefits.
or
Because
Samsung.
we are typically about 30% less than the larger
Costs,
corporate-owned funeral
why
homes.
customers would look
That
at it.
in Australia took this
Different
Kansas City
location.
native on a journey to serve
It's a
a
strip
need
mall.
in her own community.
Somewhere along this 8-year path, I realized this was my plan, God's plan for me, for my life.
A life now spent honoring life and honoring death. John Batten, NBC Action News.
Boomer says that these days about 50% of people are choosing cremation. That's up 10 to 15% from 10 years ago.
There are types of stores you expect.
Okay, we'll stop that. And what I want to do is get out of here. Okay, we're back on. So that was a pretty good movie. Real quickly, something to think about. The funeral store in there. So I'm going to close this up here. Now the next one. Here's another. How to start your fashion companies. For most of you are in fashion, and if you take me online, hey, what about fashion? I provide all the links. The author provides the links, but some of you don't go on the links. So I will click on these links for you. And this one, I don't know how long it is. Let's see.
There are types of stores you expect to see in a strip mall, but a funeral home is not
Oh,
one
no,
of them.
this is not it.
but
Hang on.
at 80th and State Line, that's exactly
This
what
didn't work out. Sorry. So I don't know. I must have did the same. All right, well, we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out later. I don't want to spend the time on that now. My error. Hey, technology works for you, doesn't work for you. But you have to keep on going. That's part of being a retail merchandiser. You try different mixes, same as in the trucks. I try something, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now, here's some other websites. Now, these are regular websites. General Growth Properties. It just gives you information about stores. So let's click on this one, see if this one works. Okay, and this is just a temporary is unavailable. Please try in a few minutes. Remember, when I'm using the different websites, it doesn't necessarily mean I have control of them. They're free. I open it up. So, but let's try this out on Simon's Property. This one I think will work. And let's click on here. Ah, there we go. So the Joy. Okay, Simon's is shoppers, businesses, investors, career. Has no wording on. Oh, because I got the speaker turned off. Let's see what they have on here. Good music. Look how it catches your attention. So if you're having retail merchandising, let me just turn this down a little. You still should be able to prove. Now this is a site that just goes in there. It tells you everything about. Look how active, creative this site is. Who are they targeting? Younger individuals. I mean, I'm a boomer, but look, they're targeting younger individuals. They're looking at this. They got different fashion, and they have travel, foundation, gift cards. See all properties. Okay, so what kind of shopping centers they have? They got properties all over. Let's see what we have in Illinois. Since we are broadcasting out of Illinois, California, Illinois, Chicago area, outlets, River Oaks, Oak Center, Gurnee. So they manage a lot of these properties. So let's try one right here. And do I have anything else? And let's see, Schaumburg, Woodfield Mall. Let's see what they have on Woodfield Mall. How would you spend, Simon's, Woodfield Mall, enhancement, detail. So you could get some information. It tells you about different businesses. It gives you information, how much you lease. Remember, you'll be doing a feasibility study on a new business. You'll be opening up a retail and merchandising business. You're gonna staff it by yourself. You're for lack of better words, in the fashion industry, and you've created your own fashion line. How do I sell it? Where does it make sense? And it gives you different careers. You could do your own business, or you want to work for somebody else. Good website, okay? So I'm not trying to sell one or the other. It just gives you some information. So we'll turn that off. The other one I want to look at is, if I could get it work, is Yahoo Finance. Now Yahoo Finance, again, how do I finance a project? Part of the project you'll be doing here, open up a feasibility for a retail merchandising store, is where do I get the money? You could have crowd funding. There's one way. You could go to a traditional bank, or you could go to Yahoo Finance, and it gives you some idea, give you some links, gives you something. So when you're writing the paper, or if you are going to open up your own retail businesses, how do I get the financing? I have to understand both sides. That's why you're taking this course, retail merchandising. You'll take me for management or business. I'm a double major. You'll have to take some finance, some accounting. One thing's good idea, but the bottom line is how I'm going to make some money off of it, a living. that's sustainable, or a business that I could grow with my product line and do both of my passions, that I enjoy doing. You have to learn, you utilize your creative side, but you also have to be on that logical, realistic side. Where do I sell? Or if I'm a department head, some of you are in this course and you are working for Gap, or most of us we start off in retail merchandising in some kind of retail operation in high school and college, and some of us just keep on progressing and growing within that. Okay. And so you're looking at, hey, what can I do for my department? I'm taking this class. Hey, how could I utilize? Remember, you could utilize that in the feasibility study you've been doing retail merchandise, but you have to give me some detail. Not way up here general. Part of this whole course is bringing you down. Okay, so let's talk about the rest of the class now. Now, unplanned shopping districts, and we're going to go through planned shopping districts, unplanned, and let's go on this. So central business districts, what you call CBD, okay, and here's a pic of a central business, and this is an old picture. I don't know why I put that in there. It's an old picture of the central. This is what you're looking about. The whole hub of a lot of cities was the central district. A lot of suburbs have a central district. Some are planned, some are not planned. Some of the smaller towns you go, and that's probably why I was utilizing this, Johnson City, Tennessee, a smaller town, their hub, other than the church or a place of worship, a smaller town is a central district. Everyone comes in because they're so spread out, but they have a local location. And it's no rhyme and reason. It's just what they call a central business district. Okay? So central business have no centralized plans. The stores open up, small stores. Some, those of you travel and you go into some of these small stores, some have some theme. Other ones, they're just there. I need this. Whatever the population. Remember, you're always serving the market. Those of you taking, this is part of a marketing class. Those of you who are taking marketing, you have to find a need. In a central business district, it's a small town. What do I need for? What do the people need? A lot of times you find if it's a farm area, you have like a farming fleet, similar, or you have some stores that take care of the clientele for that district, the demographic. You have to understand your customer base. You have to understand the geographic, where we're at, and they'll come in there. I live in Lake Zurich or Palatine, downtown. Lake Zurich is trying to find their central districts. They're trying to plan it, but they're not sure what's going to bring it. You have Long Grove. The central district is, I want to say, like antiquing, or small shops. Everything else, they have Strawberry Fest. You have different things to bring people into one of an item, very small specialty shop, but that's their niche, and so people go there. So when you open up Palatine has one. I'm not sure what that is, but you could find out. Mine is not to tell you. I'm just giving you an idea. Now what's going to happen, these central districts are declining as centers of retail stores, primarily because people began moving to the suburbs, remember, and now these are suburbs. So you're looking at the central districts are basically in the urban area. They came out, they started off here either as a resort town, Fox Lakes. Central district is a lot of bowling and everything else, complements of that, because tourists come in there looking at the chain of lakes. But now the suburbs are having the same thing. As people are going, because people are beginning to move out, or do you want to go to destination shops that we talked about earlier? It's just something to think about. Remember, I'm just giving you a general idea. So you understand, you have to have a baseline where I'm going to go it up. The next secondary business district grew in Alton. They did like centers, freestanding stores. It's something with the suburbs, and town centers, independently owned specialty stores, retails. In the pic like this is, and this one I'm looking again like Long Grove would be there. This one's kind of a little bit modern one, but it'd be like a town center. I think Lake Zurich is trying to do. Highland Park has like a pedestrian one. We'll talk about differently. Lake Forest has its own little quaint little thing, and I'm talking about the suburbs that most of us would do. If I look, you have Barrington again, little central, little quaint. Have coffee shops, but it complements and works well for that district, what the clientele are looking for. Okay. And then freestanding stores. Okay, so that takes care of our. No, we're doing pretty good. We'll still make an hour out of this. I want you to learn. I understand a lot of you are reading And a part of taking the course online or face to face, and these supplemental videos with the action, the different links I provide, so you get a good, solid base understanding. For some of you, if you're in the retail merchandise, location is important. You can't afford all the advertising, so you're on a main strip. You're someplace where people can see you. If I'm open up a business that's an outlet store, I could be someplace further because it's looking. People are going to be seeking for me. But if I'm a small retail, I got to be where my customers are, and I have to adjust to that customer mix. Okay, now plan centers is what a lot of business are doing. Just general information about plan centers. So you could copy this down. A shopping center is a business complex with on-site parking that is developed. A lot of times that's required. You look at even stores in a planned center, they may only have, you say, 1 or 2 or 3 customers in there, but they have to have 10 or 15 parking lots. They're looking at the capacity of the individuals going in. All shopping centers, mall, because of, so you're looking at regulations, you're going down to certain rural communities, they may not have as many parking lots. It's set up a little differently. You have to understand the rules and regulations for where you're opening up and what's allowed. Signage could be a big issue. You want to put a big sign. No, Menards is running into a lot of stores like Barrington or something. I'm not open up in Barrington, but if I'm looking at opening up in Lake Zurich or Palatine or some of the other stores, they don't want this big store or sign so it looks gaudy. That's their image. So they have to bring it down because customers, if you're looking at social responsibility and you want to blend into what because the suburbs or the Chamber of Commerce for that location where you could get some information, basically is a brand image, what's bringing people in. You don't see a big store in Long Grove. They're all small, quaint little shops because that's what people want. It gives you, people walking, traffic. You don't see a big highway running through there. Little things, all drawbridges, a lot of little benches sitting down, little quaint restaurants. Remember, it's a brand. The community Chamber of Commerce is that's controlling some of this still is looking at what kind of clientele, what's going to be our image. When they think of Barrington, what are they thinking of? What are shoppers thinking when they come in there? Higher price, higher quality. Okay, shopping center became to understand after World War II when people were moving into the suburbs. They want a little different. Highways made them more accessible, so it gives me a way to come to the center to maintain an image in the shopping center. Stores often must coincide requirements. It means they have to, like we talked about, they have to look at the rules and regulations, for lack of better words. And plus what the management of the shopping center, we'll talk about that. Okay, so you look at IKEA, and I just throw that in there, a standalone destination store with its own parking lot. Okay, so that's what it is. And IKEA, no matter where you go, you got big blue IKEA. Now look, they have this is allowed. Now if you're going to go to the standalone destination, but if they would be in a mall or into a certain community, they may not want that big sign because that's going to take away my image. Think of this thing in Lake Forest. Think of this store right in Barrington. No, but you could be outside Barrington in an unincorporated area that may have some more flexibility. So, but now, could you open up a store? Now, there's no, IKEA standalone all by itself, but you could have a parcel close to them so they come to here and say, oh, here's this other strip mall. You have to think, what makes sense? What are customers coming in? I wouldn't be selling furniture out here. I may be selling bedding because, look, remember we're going to talk about complementing. If I have a store like this, why would they come to my store? They're coming here to be thrifty, price shopping. I wouldn't want to open up a John M. Smith right next to IKEA. It doesn't complement the direct in competition. It doesn't make sense. Customers are coming here. They're coming here for inexpensive, not low quality. I don't want to say low quality. Quickly designed things like moving. Usually, it's centered about people just moving out. People that are in apartments that want to be real quick, put it together. Single individuals, because you could build everything else together. Comes a smaller package, and their whole thing is everything is small, condensed. And you could put it, build it up. So they save on shipping, they save on everything else, because you don't have the whole couch put together. You have to put it together in pieces. So you got to be kind of a little bit handy, okay? But it's just something like IKEA. Okay, now you're talking about convenience centers. When we'll come in there, what's convenience centers? If you look at some locations, like a Quick Mart or something else that's right there. Convenience, you come in there, in and out. Price is a little higher, but you don't have to wait in the store. So they're already set up for that. You have neighborhood centers, for lack of better words, 150,000 square feet, often with a supermarket, right? Plaza de Lagos in Wilmette, high end. We're talking about a little high end in here, retail merchandising. You're in fashion. We're just going to, you could be in the low end. I'm just going to talk about it. Doesn't make a difference when I'm looking at neighborhood centers. You go into Chicago, grew up in Chicago, you go, or Wheeling, or someone else that they have a lot of it's just that the author mentioned this, so I was going to throw that in, okay? And it gives you the definition. Community centers is supermarkets are community center tenants like Kroger. And Kroger, when you're looking at it, it's not that big here. I was traveling with my son. We're going down, with my grandson, going down to, what do you call it, Indianapolis, and so we're traveling down there, and there's more Krugers going down when you're going down south than it is up here. It's a chain store. It's like a Jewel Osco up this way, but they do it, so it's just an example. Usually about 3,500 square feet with a supermarket, discounter plus, Eden's Plaza is a good one on here. If I'm looking at it as a community center. Okay, now look at a regional center. Remember, these are something up to 800,000 square feet, 2 or more department stores, plus specialty stores, Oakbrook Mall, Maze, or Nordstrom. It would be something what you call a regional center. Larger, more department stores coming in there, and, people coming in there for that reason. You're looking at this clientele. Some of them we're going to talk about the direct competition or indirect competitor. Now, super regional centers, you got a Crabtree Mall in North Carolina, and here's a picture of it. Large. It's almost like a Woodfield Mall, for lack of a better word. If I look at it, I would thought it would be a Woodfield Mall, and we'll talk about that later on. You see people coming along. A lot of people, you do a lot of shopping. A lot of times you have families, or you have a lot of teenagers who are coming out there. What are we going to do on the weekend? It's hot, it's air conditioned. As we talked before in the mall, someone's paying for the space, but if you shop, so we're going to open up your shop in this large mall. A lot of times what I tell, for a small specialty shop, you don't want to be, it could be like Sears would be a destination store, people coming in there, or anchor stores coming in there. I would always say recommend by the food court, if you can get by, or by the restrooms. Everyone has to go. So, if you're down the aisle, usually where the restrooms are, follow along there. There'll be my little shop there. Oh, I didn't even know the shop there. And while you're there, someone's, your loved ones, your kids going to the bathroom. If they're old enough, make sure you go in with them. But what I'm talking about is they're there and they see your shop because they have to go, or by the food court more. It gives you a central location. Okay. If you're way at the end, you can pay less rent. But which way are most people coming in? Depends on the parking, depends on what anchor stores and what clientele. So you got to be sharp. Remember, you're looking location, and you're also looking at how much it's going to cost you, and rent. If way in the end, so people got to find you. So you're going to say we're right around the corner next to this mall, or we're adjacent from Sears or Nordstrom, or whatever it is, okay? Many stores and services, Woodfield Mall would be a good one. Okay, now shopping malls, and I'll talk about this one. Mall of America, you could look on there, large. It's I think it's one of the largest ones in the U.S., real large. It has entertainment, Ferris wheel. It's something like Chicago's trying to do with Navy Pier Center. They have stores and everything else. Would be a good shopping experience and also a good entertainment, brings everyone else good tourist attraction, okay? Usually regional, super regional, on that, specialty department stores, okay? So you see a lot of them, they're kind of declining. Now, strip shopping malls are well-planned development with on-site parking. We talked about, we saw some of them, owned and managed as a unit. So remember, as a strip mall, I may be a manager of a strip mall. How do I get the tenants? Which tenants do I want? I don't want to have two. I don't want to have Fertillo's and a George's hot dog stand right next to them. They're competitors. So many people coming in there, one of them is going to go out. I can't sustain it. I could have a Portillo's, I could have a Taco Bell, I have a Burger King, and make it like a restaurant hub, for lack of better words. But they're not fighting each other, because after a while you get tired of hot dogs, you want something else. So they're already in there for other things, and then I have other stores around there. Who's my clientele? Who's coming in there? Okay, and here's the layout of a shopping mall. And so I'm managing this, or I'm going in there. I'm looking in there. If I'm over my hot dog stand, I don't want another hot dog stand next to me that's going to be my competitor for a better price. And that's part of my agreement when I send a contractual agreement. That's part of retail merchandising, what you're going to learn down the road when you're looking at where I'm going to locate, location, and what help I have. You could have one dentist here, and you could have an X-ray machine, or somebody else that's doing major dentistry, and I'm just a regular dentist, and someone else is doing implant. That complements me. So I could send one here, there, so you can still survive your business, but you don't want direct competitor. And as a retail merchandiser or shopper for location that's managing this unit, you have to look at that too, because you don't want to keep on renting the same space because I got a good deal and I get another tenant out. Okay? Unless you're going to be, like I said, with a food court, you always see they're always different, never the same in there. Okay, first shopping center in the United States, open up when? You may have a question, and I don't know. I throw it in, little nostalgia in here. Country Club Plaza in Kansas City. Kansas City, all the songs, that's where it's at. Built in 1922, long time ago. Okay, so that took care of my shopping centers. Moving along here. Now, other type of shopping centers. Oh, this is pretty. Remember, this is a short chapter, location. There's more to it. Look at the linkage, and I'm going to go into some of the sites. Make sure. You remember, you have your product, you have your idea, you have your concept. You don't want to be where there's too many competitors, or you want to be where there's a need for your mark. Too many competitors, you have to fight for the same clientele, customers. I know cars are coming all over, so you want to be someplace that the customers are naturally going there for an anchor store or something else. I don't have a competitor right close to me, so when they're there, once we park, I get the parking places, I'll shop. Chicago's good. I park in the location. I was down in the city, Bucktown, where I grew up at, Logan Square area. Now, really nice, and they have where I was Milwaukee and Ashland. I looked around, and they have like a big parking mall. They have parking out there. So when I park there, all the shops around there paid for the parking, street parking. Otherwise, you park in the city. Nothing against the city, but the parking's a bit outrageous. But you could park there, and you could go and walk around there. So I'm already parked there. I visit one store. I'll visit the other stores with compliments. There's if I'm mistaken, there's a Lowe's there, or Home Depot. A Lowe's in that area. But so I go in there, and I'll go into the Subway. I go into a lot of stores. I'll walk in that area around there for stores. They all complement each other. Why leave? Because I already parked. I don't want to go 20 miles. I made one trip. I'm happy. So remember, you have to look at that. Okay, let's look at other shopping centers. Now, this is going to be long, and we have a lot here. We have survival of the fittest. I'm going to say what's happening. All these different shopping centers and different mixed-use centers, shopping centers, mall, they're all competing for the same clientele. Even though some are coming down, as the gas prices are going up, as traffic jams are happening, some of the shopping centers have to reinvent themselves. They have to become different. They've outlived themselves. Or the stores, I'm growing, I'm moving, where's my next location? That may be your idea. So one leaves, and you go, hey, here's a store open, this meets my needs. I was working with a client, I was opening up a wine, high-end wine, selling wine, different types of wine for different countries. He brought it into the store. The problem was he never remodeled the store. It's still old. He left the same thing because he's trying to keep the costs down. But when people came in, you're looking at the high-end, and the store is kind of, very outdated, dusty. It didn't make sense. The paint, it did not fit the decor. And he was next to a Caesar's Pizza. Again, did not work well in that shopping center that they were in. I'm going for high-end pizza, high-end wine, and here's a Caesar's Pizza. If I'm going to high-end wine, I want a nice high-end Italian restaurant or something that will complement. They come to a restaurant, we eat there, and let's go home and enjoy the rest of the night. Here's a nice store. I don't want to be next to a liquor store that's just people buying. So you have to look at the location, and what's complementing and what guarantees you have when you open up. Very important. So survival of the fittest, and we'll talk about this. What's going to happen is a boom in shopping center malls, intense competitive competition forces. Many centers have to reinvent them. Restaurants always reinvent it. You get tired. Unless the chains, even the chains, they come up with a new menu. They have to change. McDonald's trying to reinvent themselves or go back to the core because you have a lot of younger individuals, generation millennials, Generation Z's, and the other ones coming up there. They want the fast food, but they want to sit down. They want the higher end. They want to have a choice. So how do I reinvent myself? Or do I stay as I am? Okay, up this way, Sonic came in, didn't do too well in this area because there's too much other competitors out here. It's the retail merchandising. What do? Your department stores, I guess branches move up from strip centers to larger quarters in the regional, super regional mall because the store gets bigger. Remember the other chapter we talked about the size of the stores, how would it be classified as a specialty store or as a departmental store. I'm bringing in other chapters so you get this whole picture. For some of you, you're looking this at a YouTube or at the video, you got it. I just want to tie in. I'm gonna, you're building. This is how you become a good retail merchandising location. Remember, we're talking about open up a store, open up a front, sell my product. What's the distribution? I'm the last in the distribution channel to our supply channel, marketing channel. This is a marketing class to the ultimate customer. Where do I open up? I don't want to start moving. Once I get my clientele, I may leave a little store, open up another store. You have those options, but you have to think about it. Okay, so larger quarters. The other things, category killers. People used to be like standalone, like IKEA. All right, sorry. All right, I'm a little dyslexic. IKEA out there. So if I'm looking at that category killers, what happens is it used to have people didn't want to compete. Now they cleaned up their acts. They got good advertising. They got good marketing. So now it becomes a good anchor store, and people are beginning to come in there. Now these retail centers are preferred by many retailers because it brings people in. Okay, few shopping centers were built. Okay, let's see. Mixed-use centers is a mix of stores in a shopping center. Now you're looking at different things: directly competing, indirectly competing, complementary. Retail, office parking. Here's the basic thing. They're retail, office parking. They're mixed. There's everything else. Yeah, they come in there like a convention center, and we'll talk. Didn't talk about here, but that's what a convention center is. It has a little bit of everything else. You come in there. Boston has one. A lot of other ones. Plus convention centers, hotels, condominiums. President Towers is a good example. You live there. I work there. I live there. I got everything else there. Why move? It's like our own city within the city, very contained, and a lot of people enjoy that kind of life. They have everything they want to do. Okay, so directly competing is half similar merchandises, right? Sometimes in the mixed centers, examples, Fields and Bloomingdale's, they compete against each other, similar merchandise, but they can survive because they got the brand name. Some people go to Fields, higher end, they'll go. Same thing like I may go to a Walmart and Target. I'm just using examples, or Costco's and Sam's. Even though I know they're competing, have similar items, a lot of times the same things, maybe a little different, but it depends on the location. It's closer here, or do I want to go to the other one because it got a better sale or better deal, or do you have something the other ones don't carry? Okay, now indirect competition, competing, is similar goods, and it's supposed to be in. Sorry, let me correct this. We're live. When I do live, it's no different than if I'd be in a classroom with you. Okay, and prices, but different brands. Lord and Taylor and J.C. Penney's competing. You're right. Indirectly competition, similar goods but different prices, different brands. Okay. Now complementary, help each other's sales. Examples: New York, NY, and Company, and Claire's. Claire's is a clothing store versus a jewelry store. So they complement each other. They may have a small selection. Remember, we talked about depth and breadth. Make sure you understand that. I may have a smaller assortment, but a larger assortment, but smaller, smaller depth or smaller products within that assortment. So they complement each other. Okay. Okay, so that takes care of this. Now, pedestrian malls. Now, if I look at Highland Park, I didn't do this. Highland Park's pedestrian. You walk it. No cars, no nothing. Chicago. You go to Chicago, I think State Street, there's certain things that's blocked off. Buses go through there from people coming from, tourists walking. I think even taxis may have a line. I haven't been down there for a while, but I think they let taxis drop people off, tourists coming in there. But it's a walking mall. You walk from store to store. No cars, no parking, and people could do. I went to Boston, the convention center, and we'll talk about that later on, like a festival mark. So this one's doing, as a rule, not been it's not really highly innovative and not too successful because you lock off the cars. A lot of people, what are you gonna do in the winter? You gotta park and walk unless it's a smaller area. A lot of people like to park, get out, and walk, and come in. Like it or not, Americans are, for lack of better words, we're getting kind of little, and I'm talking about myself, little lazy, for lack of a better word. We want to get there and walk. If now, these may do all right for innovation. If I walk in there like you do in an airport and they have a treadmill that they're not walking, but actually moving, a conveyor belt that was moving me around, they may open up the whole thing. Won't work well in the winter, but summertime is nice. What I do in the winter time? What if I buy something? I got to walk back. I can't put the car in there. So they've got some limitations. It's something to think about. All right, so they're there. It depends. And in some stores, in a park, and I'm using that as a community because a lot of people may be aware of it or not. You could go in there. Barrington has, not Barrington. You still could park, but Chicago's a good one. State Street, where they have it all locked off, and you could do walking on there. Of those of you who travel to places, you have it. Okay, now the other one they're looking at is Boston, Marketplace in Boston, and this is the same thing. If I'm looking at if I go to I want to say Iowa or some other places. They all have like something else. You could come in there and you could walk around. They have a main attraction that you go in there, but afterwards, then you're going walking around. You're already there. It brings tourists and even regular people come in there. Just some nice meet people. They have venues out there. This one in Boston, I walked in there. I kind of liked it. They had the people playing the horns, guitar. You have your hand peddlers. You have all little shops. Nice during the daytime. I was during in the summer, and I walked around there. Very enjoyable. You can see different people. Very active. You have a lot of things going on. Out there. Draws the tourists, more of the tourist attraction, for lack of a better word. And it's one to look at. So they're still kind of successful. Wintertime, you like to have something closed in, but that's not their business. So a lot of times they'll have like walkways we could walk around from underneath, so you don't have to go outside. Okay, outlet centers. Let's look at outlet centers. You would be common common premium outlet, and here's a pic of it. It's a premium outlet center. So, and you got to be careful. We talked about the outlet center. Some are better. Tenant centers, tenant mix includes manufacturers, outlets, stores, and off-pricers. Chicago Premium Outlet. Now, here's a link. I'm going to go in Gurney Mills. Let's go to Gurney Mills. People may know it. If I looked at Gurney Mills, there's Simon, so we had that one. Okay, let's close that off. And this is also Simon. So they'll have different premium outlets. So if you look at these sites, and this one is particular, is the same one. Is not coming up. Okay, no, this one's a little different. Premium outlets. Okay, sorry. So if I'm looking out here, it's just looking at different. Let me open this up a little for you. Can I open it? There we go. That's one to open up so you can see it. Okay, Chicago Premium, Aurora, Illinois, store listings, maps, sales, events, hours, decoration. And remember, we're into fashion. Some of you in my course are fashion, in the fashion program. Okay, I'm not open up retail merchandising. I got a good idea. I created something. Where could I sell it? I could sell it to the big chain, or there's a lot of specialty stores that say I can make this. Hey, I like this, because remember, specialty stores, people coming in, the clientele want the higher end. They want one of a kind. And and I'll show you later on when we go. There's other YouTube. I'll show you one of a kind store that is brought into from Europe, where the tailor only has a few items out there, and just so you see what it looks like, different sizes, different colors, but not the same thing, and they could mismatch, and they'll make it custom made for you right there, and it's going to be one of a kind because you're designing it. If you look at handbags, if you look at different handbags online, you could design it. Look at Build-A-Bear, and I'm looking just an example as part of retail merchandising. Build-A-Bear, you can come in there, every kid, you got all the little pieces, you put them all together, and you can build your own type of a bear specifically for them. Name them, they give you a birth certificate, or whatever, so it looks like a real entity for your child, and you build it together. Okay, you have 120 stars, fine, all different Calvin Klein. So remember, premium lets you know this is good. Log in, register, gift card. What I'm trying to do here is tell you that what it does. It will. What I'm trying to do is show you that here's where you're going to find some ideas. Some of you, if you're taking for my course, you're going to have to come up with a retail merchandise shop. You'll be working in a team. You're going to be creating it. We're going to be using different software called Chap in a team. You say look at yourself, investors or a partner, and you're going to come up with something. When you come up with this kind of a retail merchandising scheme, which one fits well for my product and my customers that I'm trying to reach? Important marketing. I have to find the market. That means a need. Who's my clientele, and how do I deliver to that clientele? Open up my shop that makes sense for them. The next one we're going to talk about power centers. Tenant mix at power centers. Okay. Compromise big store discounters. A pick of a power center. Here's a power center. What's a power center? You see them, and this is everywhere. It has everything in the name. You know, it's kind of playing up. You got Target, you got a Lowe's, you got a Kohl's, you got a Best Buy, you got Sports Authority, Linens, Walmart. Look, they're all competitive, but it brings people in. This is very popular. You see a lot of suburbs are opening up. Makes sense. I could get everything else. I begin now. If I'm a small retailer, especially shop, I could kind of fit in here. I got Ruby Tuesdays. These are the large ones. You know, I mean Ashley Furniture. Look, they kind of compete and they kind of don't, because Lowe's carries stuff. You know, Target has some furniture, but you know, Walmart has furniture. Which one's a a category killer, for lack of better words? You know, is one that has it. So you know, you have an ice park, really nice. Okay, so but it brings a different variety. And a lot of times they don't have all the little stores in there because you may not afford to put the sign in there, or they have a very small. You know, it tends to be a destination store. Customers do a little comparative shopping there. They come right in there and they're happy. They're not comparing one for the other. I want to go to Lowe's to get something else, but I also go to Target to get some medication, even though Lowe's may have it or Walmart may have it. Which one do I want to do? Hey, people are there. It's good. It brings clientele in. It's self-sustainable. It's different anchor, and they understand it. So they're not comparing. They're going there because it's the anchor store or it's a destination store. They're looking, but while I'm there, I'll hit the other one. So those are called power stores. Now, Life Center store is the newest type of center store, open air, a little different than the festival pedestrian, with a chain specialty stores, restaurants, entertaining menus, something like that. If I look at Barrington, and I can't think of the name out there, Barrington off of past Lake Cook Road, in there they have the whole thing, an area there that has a walkthrough, everything else. I'm sorry, I don't want to sell one or the other. It just I'm live. It just skipped the mind. But you go in there and they have a whole thing, different kind of centers. You got Nobles, you have a store, you have a restaurant, and you know it's kind of quaint. You can still go park, you can still walk around and see, and you could, you know, here you got parking, but you have a big thing that brings a different clientele, a higher end, and that's what they are. They call Life Center centers. Different name is still big. Just so you understand. And the names are different because lifestyle, it depends on the clientele who's in there. And I use Barrington. The Barringtons, they're looking at the higher end, or it could be in Lake Forest, but I think this one I'm talking about Barrington. You go in there and you could walk around and you could look. You know, it's before Lake Cook Road and Route 12, and you could walk around. You could still park, but you know, in the summertime you could walk at different stores. You have ice cream parlors, you have places to sit down, you have a theater, draws people in, and gives you the same thing like a center, but it's called lifestyle and adjusted to what the clientele for that area. 20 years later, it could be completely different, might have to reinvent themselves. You know, a lot of people don't know the difference because they all look the same. It's a strip mall, and it's not, if you see that in the exam, okay? Now, creating a tenant mix. When I'm looking at tenant mix, if you're a manager or if you're coming in, you should be aware of who's my tenant, who's coming in next to me once I put all my money and I have somebody else that could undercut me or has a better quality, or you know, if people come in here, why should I buy here? I'll just come over here. You know what I mean? So you look different than an outlet store. Outlet stores are all over because people are going there looking for a certain brand or something else to save. And remember, outlet stores, some of the manufacturers, you have to be careful. They could be irregulars. You know, as long as, you know, the stitch is a little bit off. I mean, I know that if you got one sleeve longer than the other, it's a little bit extreme. I don't think they have that in there. So what's the tenant mix? A strategy based on the kind of competition among tenants. That's a tenant mix. Ideal tenant mix. Let's put this in here just so you can remember. I'll keep it up, you know, so I don't have to. I know I always do it, but I forget. Okay, so I already have it in here. Is indirect competition and complementary stores. I have both of them. That's an ideal. I have a little bit of both. Gives a little keeps the prices down, keeps people in, you know what I mean? Because you're coming in here when they don't have it, so I want to keep it down. You need something to draw them in, okay? Consistent with the center's image. You know, again, Lord & Taylor, J.C. Penney's, Nine West shoes, plus other complementary store. That's your ideal. You want to have a good mixture of indirectly competing and complementary stores, okay? So this is our whole thing on our class. I don't know how we did today, but we did pretty good. Some people ask what software I utilize. This is called MindJet. I know there's other softwares for mind mapping. This is a professional software. Just so you know, I'm not selling it and everything else. It ties in. It works out nicely with Microsoft products. Integrates nicely. So I utilize this for a business. I do most of my mind mapping. Taking a class at the college, they have the course to have some classes on how to do mind mapping. And mind mapping is how you do it by hand. I do all my pictures. I think so. I'm not doing it writing this way. That's how I take notes. But how do I present this as a presentation? And this is what this software does. All right. So anyway, just so you know, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and this is retail merchandising. Today we talked about retail location. We added on from chapter 2 that talked about different department stores, specialty stores. Now I know those types of formats of a retail store, or that I'm going to sell my merchandise. Now, where do I locate that store? Where do I move? Where do I open up? Which one works for me? Location. If I have the money, I go to Gurney Mills or Woodfield Mall. If I don't have the money, I'm looking at strip mall. If I'm a startup, I may be in the town. If I have a coffee shop, open up a coffee shop. I don't want a Starbucks there. Starbucks got its name. They started off from the European. They brought the idea here, but it's so commercialized. You got drive-through. I want a quaint little store. I may be someplace in Chicago, certain areas. You have a lot of times Bucktowns have little specialty shops that just work there because they've got enough customers. You want to say they got enough residents. They want to walk. They ride their bikes. They stop in there. They got a bike rack. It's quaint. They meet their friends. They meet their neighbors. It's a whole different way of an atmosphere to get you out. Okay, so retail merchandising, retail location is important. And did I outgrow my location, and should I move, or did my business grow? Where would be a better location? I don't care where you're at. From what size as a business goes, location is very important. Again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and I hope you enjoyed this lecture. It's it complements to my lectures in the classroom. And it complements to my online class. This is how you get to meet me right now. Okay, so I'll see you in our next chapter 4 coming up. Bye.